financial literacy, and the human condition. Welcome to Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rahaim.
Hi, it's Francis. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for watching this video. If you're catching us on YouTube, please help us help others by clicking like, subscribe, and all notifications so you don't miss any videos. And check back for the next video. I think you're going to love it. Thanks again. For more information, you can visit us at hugyourmoney.com.
Welcome to Financial Fitness. I'm Jess Tyler, along with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rahaim. Hi.
Hey, Jess, how are you?
I am doing okay. And I know we're talking about feeling better with wellness today, right?
We are. We're talking about financial wellness as an employee benefit.
Okay.
So maybe your employer can help you become more financially fit, to improve your financial literacy, to reduce your stress.
Yeah, I think we all need that right now.
Now, you might wonder, why would an employer do that? Or why would you think that your employer should do that? But it's actually proven that stress about finances, right? If you're stressed out about your money, it's going to reduce your productivity at work. People who are stressed about they're distracted at work, right? And this isn't me making this up. These are, bank rate surveys, Bank of America, PwC, the United States government has done this. But I actually wanted to talk about this from the perspective of health, because WebMD, of all places, WebMD thought this was important enough to do a big article on it. Okay, it wasn't about the fact that I can't talk. Okay, so WebMD thought it was important enough to do a big article on this. And what they were saying is, and I'll give you a few stats that will lay the groundwork here. And this is going to parallel, which is why WebMD is interested in it, I'm sure, parallels, a wellness program about your health, right? Financial wellness is very similar. Financial wellness should include the kinds of tools that you need, like a health program would, to become more fit, right? So if you lay the groundwork on that, you'll see, let's take diabetes as an example, right? WebMD might do an article about diabetes, and they might say one of the things that you need to pay attention to is your weight, or your, intake of certain foods, right? And so they would give you those tools to educate you in a way that you can help yourself become more financially well. And of course, many employers have picked this up with things like gym memberships or reimbursement for wellness activities, right? Well, financial wellness is following the same path. And just to give you some groundwork about what might be, what the symptoms might be, Bankrate did a survey in 2023 that said almost half of the people have less than 39% savings. Now, that might seem a little wonky, right? How do you calculate that? But let me just point out that 10% had no savings compared to the year before. So in just 1 year, they went to no savings. 68% said they were worried that they couldn't cover a month of bills if they lost their primary source of income. That means Americans are living too close to possible financial disaster, right? Actual bankruptcy. And so employees are more stressed now by this survey, more stressed now than about money than they were, Jess, at the height of the pandemic.
Wow. Yeah, that's shocking.
It is shocking. And when we're talking about stress and what is causing that, 85% say that inflation has had a major or severe impact on their finances, right?
Yeah.
And Bank of America survey says that 90% of employers feel responsible. 97% feel responsible for their employee financial wellness. Now, to give you some idea, in 2021, that was only 41%.
Okay, so this is really on top of mind now.
Yeah.
Are a lot of companies now doing this? Is there a percentage of how many companies are really looking at financial wellness and offering some kinds of programs?
Yeah, so I think it's something like 97% of companies are interested or think they already have a financial wellness program.
Okay.
Now, the reason I'm laughing about that is because, of course, I talk to a lot of companies, and they're suffering from the same problem that the general public is suffering from. We don't really educate people, companies included, in what a financial wellness package is. So somebody comes to them and says, hey, we've got this great financial wellness program. It costs you this much per month, put all your employees on it. And what happens, and you can tell me this might be true of the radio station, is even if they adopt it, most of the employees have no idea that it's there, or it's such a labyrinth of information. It's so much they can't unravel it. There's no clear plan about for step 1 you do this, and step 2 you do this, and step 3 you do this. Oh, you have something that doesn't fit in the box, you get some personal help, right?
Well,
That just doesn't seem to be happening in the companies I've talked to. What they do think they're good at is 401ks. And so traditionally, employers have felt the pressure, I think, of not only providing a 401k, but doing a company match because they're trying to keep their employees and they're trying to attract the best talent. So it costs them a lot of money to do this, a lot of money to match that 401k. Now, why are they doing that? Why are they focused on the 401k? Because they see it as the only way to show their employees that they care, that they are a company worth working for, that they will give you a benefit, they will give you a perk that you might not get somewhere else. And go ahead, please.
Well, I was just going to say, we were talking a little bit when you told me what we were going to be talking about for the show, and we're talking about this, and I've got to say it. I don't even know if my company has it. That doesn't mean that they don't, but I'm wondering how many people actually have had this benefit all along and just really had no idea.
Well, I'll give you an example. How many
Okay.
people have a 401k and have never spoken to the person running it?
Oh, I'd say
They go
probably
to
the
their
majority of people. Yeah.
they go to the HR and they say, I want to make a change. Or there's some person that comes in one time when the 401k is set up and says to everybody, 50% in stock and 50% in bonds, you're good.
Right.
But where is the management that you would get on a regular basis if you were educated about how to ask for that or how to understand your 401k and how to decipher those things? And so I think what happens is, everybody's busy doing their job, right? The heads of companies are busy trying to tick the box on we've got this benefit. But the implementation of it is seldom there. And the financial tools are usually things like, here's a thing on how you can invest. Well, that's great if you have money to invest, but it isn't so
Right.
great if you're working paycheck to paycheck and you don't have a debt management plan, or you have a debt management plan and you're investing something, but you don't have any idea if that's really within your affordable range because you've never done a budget, right?
Yeah.
So these kinds of tools have to be available to people, and um, it has to be held up and said, hey, there's a professional here that can help you with these tools. And there are webinars and there are online courses and there are, calculators that you can use that are at your beck and call, and they either cost you very little as an employee or they don't cost you anything. Now, where I'm headed with that is when employers start to understand the value, the dollar value. We're not talking about the wellness value right now, just the money involved in it. In not having to constantly be asked for raises, to be asked for more 401k contributions, to be asked to pay more health care, when they start to see the benefit in helping people be more financially well, they start to understand the value of a financial wellness as a benefit platform. So, for instance, we talk a lot about how if you don't have any debt when you retire, you need less for retirement, right? And
Right.
that's just obvious. If you're not kicking out $4,000 a month in debt or 10 grand a month in debt, you don't need a bazillion dollars for retirement because you can live on less. So what happens when employers start to get this is they start to realize that whatever they're putting into the 401k, whether they're matching it or they're not, suddenly by helping people build a budget, get rid of their debt, and plan their retirement more logically, they make the most of those retirement dollars. Now, what this is really about, Jess, is this digital relationship with money, right? With a person or a company that provides your financial wellness. And if you're an employer who cares about their employees because that's the message here. That's the total message. Look, we care enough about our employees to give them a gym membership, to
Right.
give them financial wellness benefits, right? And
So is this familiar? Is this familiar enough now that if you're listening to the show today and you're thinking, oh, I'm not really sure if we have it. So if you go to your HR person and say, do you have a financial wellness program? Are they going to look at you like you're crazy, or are they going to be, up on this?
it's a good question, because I think the answer is either no, we don't have that, or I don't know, or yeah, we have that. Here's how you get it. And then when the
Okay.
people go there, they get completely overwhelmed because there's no straight path. There's no person involved, right? Like we do webinars and, videos and all of that, so that we're there to say, look, here's your jumping off point to start. Literally, it's me literally in a video saying, here's where you start. Step
Okay.
one, do this. Okay, when
Yeah.
you get that done, come back to us and watch another video or contact us. We'll give you step two. And here's what our
Okay.
end goal is. And so as they're moving along through the process, they get positive gratification, positive reinforcement all the way. So they have some idea. I mean, imagine that you suddenly had to go to medical school and there was nobody teaching anything.
Right.
Just,
Yeah.
okay, Jess, tomorrow you're going to go into surgery. Good luck.
I think sometimes with finances, people think like, oh, I can figure it out. Like, I'm pretty smart. I can figure it out. But there's a lot of intricacies to it, as I know from talking to you every week.
Well, we're counting on that, actually. We're counting on people saying, I want to be able to manage my money myself. I think I can do it.
Yeah.
You could do surgery too, but you're going to need some training. You're going to need some
Right.
support. You're going to need some tools. And that's what we're providing, right? So it's fascinating to me that once employers really start to get, hey, wait a minute, this is not only going to be a money saver for us. We might save money on the healthcare in the long run because our people are less stressed. We might have less employee attrition because they're showing up for work. We might have less distracted employees because their money is okay. And guess what? Where are they going to go to a competitor and get that? When you're talking about a benefit and you're talking about building a caring relationship with your employees, that is invaluable, right? So when they start to understand that, then they start to understand, because they get feedback from the employees. Hey,
Yeah.
not only are we saving a bunch of money and making the most of their retirement dollars and helping them be less stressed and being seen as their hero, but guess what? The general public is also fonder of us because we care about our employees, right? And things of that nature. They're seen in a more favorable light. They attract better talent, right? Hey, I'm
Yeah.
going to go to that company who actually cares about me. And we saw this in the early days with companies that had pensions. You worked for a company
Yeah.
that had a pension because that was appealing to you. They cared about your future. Where is
I
that
would
now?
think, yeah, I would think one of the hurdles might be that employers, not all, but some employers don't want to spend money up front, even though, like you're saying, and this has been proven that it's going to pay off for them in a multitude of ways, but it's just sometimes getting them to do the initial amount, they don't want to do it.
Yeah, it's true. If it's a large sum, when it's a small amount, it's very affordable per employee. And many companies, I mean, we often recommend that the employee has some skin in the game. The employee splits the cost, right? So now it's ridiculously affordable, Jess. I mean, ridiculously
Like
affordable.
probably a couple bucks an employee, maybe.
Well, it's more than that, but per week maybe, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like let's say I'm just going to pull a figure out of my hat because plans could be different depending on the benefits they include. But let's say it's $39 a month or $40 a month to do this. A month.
Yep.
You can't cough up $40 a month for your
Yeah.
employee, or
Right.
$20 a month, right? And so, but nobody thinks it's going to be that affordable. Everybody thinks it's going to be this monster number. And
Right.
sure, when you multiply it times a lot of employees in a large company, it turns into a lot of money. Guess what else turns into a lot of money? The amount
Your
they
savings.
save by doing it.
Yeah.
That's right.
For
Yeah,
sure. Let's take a break here and we're going to come back because there's a lot more on this, I'm sure. I've got more questions too. But I want your phone number.
sure. It's 413-773-3333.
And you can go to hugyourmoney.com anytime. We'll be back with part 2 of Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rahaim on WHMP.
Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor is underwritten by Franklin County Technical School. We build futures. Visit fcts.us or call 413-863-9561.
Welcome back to Financial Fitness. I'm Jess Tyler, along with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Ram. Hello.
Hey, Jess, I wanted to tell you, you are still from time to time out of focus. And
Oh,
I bet that's how people feel who have trouble with their money.
exactly.
I mean, I'm making a joke of it, but that's what happens with your money too, right? You have a financially stressful problem and you feel out of focus and distracted and
Yeah.
you might even be taking time off work. And then, you resolve it and things come back into focus and you're okay for a while and then it comes back and so, you really have to look at this about the long-term results of somebody feeling financially fit and
Hmm.
how that creeps into their health, right?
Okay.
According to the American Institute of Stress, the physical effects of worrying about your money, right, may include irritability, mood swings, appetite changes, stomach issues, fatigue, and insomnia. Left unchecked, can lead to mental health concerns like anxiety, depression, or even suicide.
Mm.
I will tell you that in all the years of doing this, almost no one has ever said to me, boy, I've really got stomach issues over this. What they say is, I'm suffering from anxiety
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
pointing my finger at my money. Now, if left unchecked, according to the American Institute of Stress, anxiety, depression, and even suicide are the places that goes. We are way too close to depression and suicide over money.
Yeah.
Over money. I don't mean to minimize that, but it is a thing we can solve. This is not terminal cancer. This is something that can be corrected. It can be taught. It can be done well by virtually everybody, given the
I,
right support.
I think that you just said it in there though. The key there is talking. Like so many people have these money problems and then they don't want to tell anybody and they take it all on themselves. And yeah, for sure, that's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Well, and when you bring that up, who wants to talk to their employer about it?
Right.
So they
Yeah.
don't go to their employers and say, I've got this major financial problem because it's not seen as what they want their employer to know about them.
Hmm.
But instead they say, can I have a raise? Or
Yeah.
they don't say anything and they just look for another job that pays
Hmm.
more. When we talk about retention, when you are providing something as valuable as fixing somebody's finances on an ongoing basis, getting them out of debt in 8 or 9 years, including their mortgage, helping them with a budget that they've never had done successfully in their life, probably, and then actually making the most of their retirement as part of working for your company,
Hmm.
they're going to like you. That's the bottom
Yeah.
line. They're going to want to stay. It's
Yeah.
hard to replace benefits like that by going to another employer. I am sure that you remember, you're too young probably to remember when everybody went to work for a company with a pension, but you remember
Hmm.
401ks starting up,
Yeah.
right?
I was going to say, we've talked about that before about how it's not supposed to replace, and a lot of people look at it as a replacement.
Well, it replaced it because it could.
Hmm.
Employers started to see, hey, wait a minute, we're spending a boatload of money on pensions.
Hmm.
We just pick up this 401k that the government said will augment, the pension.
And match 3% or 4%. Yeah.
That's right. And now many companies are not even matching anymore. They're just
A
saying,
lot of them
here's your
froze at
401k.
COVID. Yeah. A lot of them,
That's right.
yeah, for COVID, they said, we're not going to match. And then they just never brought it back.
Doesn't come back. Yeah. So if you think like an employer for a minute, now, of course, employees are hearing this message loud and clear, like, wow, I could have that at work. And
Hmm.
I better ask my HR people if I have a financial wellness package and what does it include, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you think like an employer for a moment and you think about how similar it is to a health package, and you think about the savings that you might have in your healthcare costs alone over the long haul, because people are not ill as often, right? And your premiums might go down because you have a healthier employee population, right?
Hmm.
That case can be made and has been made by many people. When you start to think about that, the first thing for an employer to think about, sadly but true, that's why we're in business, right, is about the dollars. But the
Yeah.
second thing is about a healthy, happy employee workforce and what that means, right? Some companies have been very very creative about these things, right? Apple comes to mind, and some other companies where they create an environment for their employees that is based on what the employees really want, and everybody wins, right? So we can do the same thing and we recommend it with an employee wellness package. So we do something called a pulse survey. And a
Okay.
pulse survey is just a term for asking your employees, right? And we create this, right? Let's ask your employees which of these things they're most interested in. And then we can cater the benefits to the employee's needs. So there's no
Okay.
wasted money in a plan. Employers are wasting money when they just throw every financial tool in the book at their employees, most of which they don't use, can't understand initially without some support, and are just adding to the murkiness of sorting out your money, right? So when we say, okay, well, you know what, 65% of your employees were interested in paying off their mortgage ahead of schedule, or interested in, getting a handle on their credit card debt or their cars. And, 32% were interested in, how they're going to buy their next car. And 40% were interested in maximizing their retirement dollars. And whatever, this percentage was interested in budget, or these people were interested in estate planning. Then we just create the customized financial wellness package to meet their needs. But no matter what you create and what you provide your employees with, the takeaway from this, the thing that matters the most, is about the education, the implementation. You can provide any tools you want. If they're not accessible, understandable, usable, friendly, the employees aren't going to use them, and you're wasting your money.
So I'm curious on the financial wellness package, and I'm sure that it's not one size fits all, they're all different, but what are some of the popular, I guess, programs inside of that? Like some of the things that would be part of a financial wellness package that seem to be popular?
Yeah, well, I can give you some things that a financial wellness package should include, all of which
Okay.
we do, right? But they should include things like online financial tools. And this is, according to this WebMD article, again, it just happens to fit exactly what we do. Online financial tools like calculators and things like that help with the day-to-day budgeting, saving for college, retirement planning, and more, all of which we do.
Okay.
One-on-one financial counseling services for immediate concerns. That's the stuff I call crisis management, right? That's what we do. Financial coaching. How many times have you heard me say we're financial coaches, right? Financial coaching to help set goals for the future. Now, you might think there's a lot of overlap here, but they are, in fact, a step at a time attainable, right?
Okay.
In person or virtual, which obviously we do, education classes taught by experts regarding investing and easy ways to save, et cetera. This is straight out of their playbook. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, how many people think they have an insurance person or an investment person, and it turns out to be somebody who's got a year or two in the industry? Okay, we're talking, I mean, everybody starts somewhere. I'm not pretending that that's not the case for myself included in the early days. But at some point, you want an expert teaching these things. Debt management services was next on their list. Student loan repayment, credit cards, et cetera. Some employers are actually offering help with the student loans, which is another place where they're saying, look, in order to attract employees, we will actually help you pay off your student loans. They could save a boatload of money by using our program, still help pay off the student loans way ahead of schedule,
Right.
and make the most of that, right? Additional tools like help with identity theft. How many times have we talked about that sort of thing?
Yeah.
So I think, even some companies, when we talk about saving money, some companies are offering short-term loans now, like a payday loan, but at
Okay.
low interest to help people who don't have cash reserves. So they're
Mhm.
actually shelling out money, assuming they'll get paid back out of their paycheck, right?
Right.
Uh, to help people who don't have cash reserves. Well, how about this for an idea? How about we help people build cash reserves?
Where they have, yeah, exactly.
Employers
They
off
don't
the
need that
hook.
payday loan. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and get them off the hook. So, this is where we really partner with employers in a way to give these things to the employees. So you asked me, what kinds of things are popular. It's the same stuff we're doing for the consumers one-on-one. It's just involving an employer in the middle so that we can help as many people as quickly as we can. And everybody saves money, right?
Right.
Everybody does better. Everybody is more financially literate and financially well. And that translates into productivity, right?
Right.
They listed the things that the WebMD article, again, I'm quoting this a lot because I read a lot of articles on this. WebMD just had their stuff together. They just got it, that it affects your health. So they listed smart move for employers to offer a financial wellness package because it improves employee satisfaction, it increases engagement, it raises productivity, it enhances well-being, it attracts and retains top talent. I mean, what don't you like about any of this stuff, right? And
Yeah.
it fosters a positive company culture and a healthy employer brand. So I don't care how you slice this, it comes down to, now here's my one opinion about this. So far, I've given you facts and figures. My one opinion is it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the right thing to do, and employees want it, and employers are feeling responsible for it, but it needs to be done affordably and effectively.
I will say that, just talking to a bunch of people about work in general, the thing that you hear the most, money is great. I'm not gonna, knock money. Money always good. But the benefits you get from a job sometimes matter more. Like whether that's how a manager treats you, to appreciation, to small little things that you don't think are a big deal, like having a wellness package where they're saying like, oh, we actually care about whether you're anxious or stressed. Like I hear that from more people about like, you want to work harder for management that does that for you.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely true, Jess. And it isn't just about the warm and fuzzy. If you think about why people leave a job,
Probably more
stress.
money or bad management and
No
stress.
stress. They
All right.
can't do it anymore. God, I just hate my boss. I hate my situation. This is awful. They don't care anything about me and they're working me. I've all this overtime. That's what makes people leave a company. People will work for less money.
Mhm.
And if they feel uh, valued.
Right. 100%.
And that isn't the point I'm making is that isn't always about the dollar. It is about value. Value is not the same as price.
Mhm.
Anybody who's ever shopped for anything understands that. When employers get this, when they start to get, wow, I think I could put a benefit plan in place for almost no money compared to what I'm trying to spend by keeping my health doing other things.
And
And
well, like
guess
you said
what?
at
I
the
can
beginning, and well, like you said at the beginning of the show, it's a win-win because yes, it shows that they care about their employees, but they're going to save money in the long run.
There's a difference between a financial wellness plan and a financial wellness campaign. And you have to have a person behind it, even if it's in video. There we are saying, okay, Jess, you're doing pretty well. You've got through this stage and now it's time to get to the next stage. And so we're gamifying this in a way that is fun and engaging for people and is not just, oh gosh, now at the end of your day when you're really tired, let's talk about your money. That's not
Mm.
going to work. It's got to be something like we're doing. Yeah.
Well, this was a super interesting topic. Thank you. I'm sure people are going to have questions though, so I want to get your phone number.
Thanks. Employees or employers, of course, call us at 413-773-3333.
Or visit hugyourmoney.com. And we'll be back next week with another edition of Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor, Dr. Francis Rahaim on WHMP.
Financial Fitness with the Money Doctor is underwritten by Hug Your Money. So unique, it's patented. Financial coaching and more information at hugyourmoney.com.